morning, welcome. Today we're about to conduct an approved applicator training session for Nullifire SC902, a unique fireproofing product in the market. Today's session will be broken up into several parts. The first part will be mixing of the Part A and Part B of the Nullifire SC902 to correct consistency. The next part will be the application equipment, setup, cleaning and flush through. From there, what we do is we take the PreMix Kit, put it underneath the pump and have it ready for spraying. The work would have been previously prepared and the job site is ready to go ahead for training. Okay, so what we're doing here is we're opening up a 25 kilo kit of Nullifire SC902. The complete kit is housed in the one container, so when we lift the lid off, the Part B is located in the tin separately. This is in obviously an airtight container which is moisture sensitive, and you only open that once you're ready to spray. They're separated by this plastic liner which is very easily removed for mixing of the Part A. Hence you have Part B, Part A, full kit, one can. This is the Wattyl L703 thinner, which is the only thinner that is used when spraying Nullifire SC902. It's used in thinning the product when you want to achieve a level 2 or a level 3 finish, and it's the only thinner that's required for cleanup of the pump and equipment at the end of the day. What we're going to do now is we've got the mixer inside the Part A and we're going to mix this for 3 minutes. So off you go. Now we have one of the team members timing the 3 minutes while the other team member is waiting to prepare the Part B. So this needs to be mixed for a minimum of 3 minutes so you get a nice uniform creamy consistency throughout with no loose liquid sitting on the top. Only at that point can you then start preparing the Part B for addition. Okay, so this is preparing the Part B, so we remove the cap on the outside. There's a dust seal on the inside to be taken out. It's good to put a hole in the back of the can so that the air will come out and it'll pour nice and steadily for you. And then you add the mixture into the Part A. So what we'll now do, turn the mixer on, and we start and just pour and keep mixing. So we pour all of the Part B into the Part A and mix it thoroughly for a minimum of 2 minutes until the black Part B is thoroughly mixed into the white Part A and there's no black lines and it's thoroughly mixed through. This generally takes only about 2 minutes to perform. Now the Part B has been fully mixed into the Part A, and this is the appearance and the consistency that you're looking for. So there's no black swirl marks, it's been fully integrated into the mix and the product's now ready to go. The next stage to do is to remove the mixer from the mix, tap it out to try and get the remaining product in there, and then this can go under the pump for the next stage. What we're doing here now is we're going to clean the mixer. So we've got a container with some thinners in it which has been previously used earlier. We get to reuse that again and we'll clean up our tools. Come in with a brush. Just by giving this a spin around removes most of the material straight off the mixer. What we can then do is we unplug the mixer and we clean the final bit with a brush in the solvent. All right, so it's an electric airless piston pump. This is designed to move textured materials which are very heavy. The reason for that is that they're very, very reliable on heavy-bodied material. So this product is 85% volume solids and is designed to lift a heavy material. So how it works is the motor drives the piston up and down, draws the material into the pump and circulates it back out. What you need to do here is we have a high pressure filter that sits inside this body here, which looks like this. There's a filter post which is on the inside, which holds the filter from collapsing. So one fits inside the other. And then there's like a little guide that's on the top here. Here's a new filter. They have a tapered end and a square end on it. It's easy to remember which way it goes in. If you always think that the tapered end goes into the gun and it sits in there, there's a little hole for it to sit into. If you put it in backwards, it doesn't work properly. So we're going to put the filter in the gun. Always put it into the gun first. Come into the handle. This just simply spins back around. Locks in. Trigger guard goes into this fitting here, which swivels around, and that protects the trigger from being bumped. There's also a trigger lock here which prevents the trigger from being accidentally pressed. So if ever you need to, just a little safety thing here, if ever you do need to pass a gun to a colleague, always make sure that the trigger lock is on. This particular one is a 319, 6-inch fan pattern with a 19th thou tip. That's the little seal that sits in, just in there, that holds up against the side of the tip and forms a seal to stop it from leaking. So if you do get any leaks, more often than not, it may be this seal that needs replacing, or you may have damage to your tip. When you're spraying, you want to try, and it's not always possible and it's not always easy, but you always want to remain at 90 degrees to the job. So as soon as we start getting the gun at an angle, you get bounce off and you get overspray, which creates waste and creates cost. So when it's possible to keep it 90 degrees, try and do that, and you get nice even deposition and you should get a nice smooth result. See how it's got like a bit of a textured pattern to it. It's getting to the thickness where if you keep building and building, the appearance will start to get rougher and rougher until the point when you can start to move it around. But it's starting to get this little bit of a waviness to it. That's what you just got to be mindful of if you're trying to get a smooth finish. What you can do is you can move away from that, come back, let that flash out a bit, come and hit it again. And then if you wanted to have a really smooth finish, you can attack it with the thin down coat to fill that in. Here we have an example of the guys inserting tapes into the previously coated layer of nullifier. You can see that they're wrapping top and bottom 3/4 of the way around in the required distance. This will then be later covered over with another coat of nullifier so it's impregnated mid-film thickness as required on some hollow sections. Okay, what we're doing now is we're just going to have a look at how quickly the product is sanded to repair imperfections that are left by testing for film thickness. So just here you can see there's some film thickness measurements taken. There's a little bit of a raised edge. Bo's just going to now use some sandpaper just to take those edges down to a nice smoother finish. We've purposely made this as rough as possible just to illustrate these points. There we are. So that's now been reduced, and the sandpaper hasn't blocked up. Dressing of the final finish can be done by sanding or using a blade or an edge to take down to the surface, as Bo will demonstrate here. Okay, so we've finished spraying for the day and it's time to clean up the machine. What we've done is we've just pulled the machine back. Darren's cleaning the pickup leg and the return hose with the L703 thinner. Because we previously taped up the leg, once we remove the bulk of the product off the pump leg, we can actually peel back the tape, leaving the leg largely clean. That's it. So just by taping that up, it actually saves you quite a bit of time. It also saves you quite a bit of thinners as well. And it makes the end of day cleanup. So really all you need to do at that stage is flush through the machine with some clean thinners and then remove the 3 filters for cleaning, and then you're done. Now, noticing there that even though the machine was turned off and it is unplugged, there's still pressure in the line. So always treat it as potentially loaded with material ready to go. Now when Darren is moving the prime spray switch and he's putting it back into the prime position, it's discharging the 2,500 pounds of pressure that we had the machine set at previously back into the container. The machine's now plugged in. We can turn the power back on, making sure before we do that the pressure switch is in the 0 position. So the machine's on, the dead man switch is on. Slowly increasing the pressure now to draw the thinners up into the pump and take the residual nullifier back into the container. So he's backing the pressure off now. We're comfortable that the machine's had a good flush through. We still need to get the residual nullifier out of the hose and chase that back into the drum, and then the thinners will chase the material back out into the drum, then we'll circulate the thinners again. So the quickest way to do this is to remove the tip. So you take it from the spray position to 90 degrees, it'll pull straight out of the side. Okay, so now Darren's got the trigger open on the gun. We're in the spray position. We can slowly increase the pressure. You can spray it into a separate container, you can spray it into that one. It's only going to pick up the thinners off the bottom anyway. Okay, so now the thinners is chasing out the nullifier that's left in the line. And you can see the stream of product coming out into the container. Okay, now the thinners has just started to come out of the gun. So what we'll do, we'll now chase it around the loop back into the drum. So we've got the thinners coming through and just doing the circle down the line. Okay, what we'll do now, we'll just put the tip back into the gun and we're going to spray some thinners through the tip to make sure the tip is clear. So he's got it in so it's in the cleaning position, so it's reversed at the present. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're still in the spray position at the moment, the pressure's back off to 0. What we're going to do is we're going to change the prime spray valve back to the prime position. That'll dump any residual pressure out of the line. I'll turn the machine off, and what we'll do is we'll pull the filters out for cleaning at this point. So now you pull the trigger, you confirm there's no pressure. Okay, this is all turned off. And we'll just take the tip out and we'll clean that with a brush. So there's our filter. You can see that it's still largely clean, and we've put through a couple of kits of nullifier. What's happened is the bottom leg of the pump has been cleaned. We've chased through the thinners through the pump originally, back through the gun. We've removed the filters. We're cleaning those now, and this is the final setup for the end of the day. The last thing to do will be to get a small amount of clean thinners, run that through the machine, and then it'll be good to go for tomorrow once the filters have all been put back in, and that's the day done.